Okay, so in our Rock Ensemble 1, we're going to be playing in the key of G. And the reason we play in the key of G is because the chords in the key of G are very easy for a guitarist or a piano player to play. And let's learn really quickly what the key of G means. It's going to be G major, so we write out G, A, B, C, D, E, and it's too big. Let's try this again. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now we're going to number these notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. If you get to 8, you've gotten to your octave. Now 8 and 1 are the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But we say 1 because it repeats. You can keep going. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You can just keep going right off the screen there. All right. The 3 chords that are going to be played the most are the 1, the 4, and the 5. That's G, C, and D. And actually I left something off. For those of you that have taken a music class or have taken some piano, you may notice that I'm missing a sharp. So I'm going to put a sharp right here. F sharp. The key of G has 1 sharp. F sharp. And we're not going to learn why that sharp is there here, but I have other videos that you can use. Now the 3 most common chords in music are the 1, the 4, and the 5 in whatever key that you are in, whether it's C or D or E. So the 1, the 4, and the 5 in our key are G, C, and D. All 3 of these are major chords. The next most common are going to be A minor and E minor. So in this video, we're going to look at what a chord chart means, and then we're going to look at those chords, how to play them on the guitar. Alright. So key of G, the 1 chord in the key of G is a G. Okay, so this chord chart is supposed to look like the top of your guitar. So let's draw it again. Let's see if this looks like a guitar. Put some dots here. Let's draw the head, some tuners. Maybe that little shape deal that says Fender. Okay, so it's the top of your guitar. Just like you're holding your guitar up like this. So with the strings from here, E, A, D, G, B, E. We have E, A, D, G, B, E. So the string over here is the top, the string over here is the bottom. That's about all we need to know for now. So let's make this look like a chord chart again, which is usually just this. And we're going to look at the fingers that we use. Finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, and finger 4. That's a G. So let's look at how to play that on a guitar. Okay, so if we look at our chord chart here, you've got 2, 3, and 4 all in the 3rd fret. So fingers 2, 3, and 4 will all go into the 1, 2, 3, 3rd fret. Okay? And what I want to do is put my 2nd finger on the top and the 3rd and 4th finger on those bottom 2 strings. The 1st finger is going to go right behind the 2nd finger, the next string down. So you have 2nd finger, 3rd and 4th. My 1st finger goes behind my 2nd finger, next string down. And we have our G. So again, 2, 3, 4. Those are the fingers that probably, if you get those right, the 1 is pretty easy. throw the 1, 2, 3, third fret, 2, 3, and 4. Top string, bottom 2 strings, 2, 3, and 4. 2 on the top string, 3 and 4 on the bottom 2. The first finger goes behind your second finger, second fret. There's your C. Okay, I'm sorry, I said C. I meant G. Now we're going to play a C add 9, which is the 4 chord in the key of G. Alright? Before we had our second finger here and our first finger here. We're just going to move those down. Same 3 and 4, and now we have our C. This is the note that's the 9 when you say C add 9. So here I am on my G chord. Okay, that's the easiest way to see this. I can't quite tell. Yay, G chord. So my second finger's on the top, third and fourth on the bottom, first finger right behind my second. Now I take this second finger and this first finger, move them, well, it's actually up a string because the notes get higher as you do that, but it probably looks like down. So you take your second, your first, same shape, you just move them both. One string. Now you have your C. Fantastic, right? Super easy. So, second, third, and fourth on the G are on the third fret. All on the same fret. First finger on the second fret. Now for the C, you just move your fingers down. That's it. Groovy. Now for the D, by the way, if you need help practicing these, it's on a separate video. We're just blasting through these chords. Maybe you know the chords, maybe you don't. So the ones that you know, we won't waste your time practicing them. The ones that you don't, you can practice them in a different video. So now we're on to our 5 chord, which is the D. G, C, D. Every Taylor Swift song ever written. Now, when you go from the G to the C add 9, you move your second and first finger. Your third and your fourth stay put. When you go from the G or the C to the D, only one of your fingers can stay still. And that's the 3. So this third finger, it never moves. If you're just playing G, C, and D, it doesn't ever move. Okay? But you do have to get rid of your fourth finger. You're not going to play your fourth. You are going to play your first and your second, however. First goes here, second goes here. So let's look at this. You're playing the bottom 3 strings of your guitar. Actually, I play all of the strings on my guitar, and I have a way to mute the top strings so that you can't hear them, but I still strum every string, just so that I don't have to pay attention to what my right hand does. We'll worry about that later. Your fingers are going to go on the bottom 3 strings. And here's the easiest way to get to this D if you've never played it before. You take your first finger and your second finger and you put both of them on the second fret. Now you make sure your second finger is on the bottom string, that's the E string. Skip the B string, go to the G string. So your fingers are on the E string and the G string. So you notice the B string in the middle here, there's some room there for a finger. Your third finger is going to go on that. So you've created a bit of a triangle here, right? So you've created a bit of a triangle here. You've got your first finger and second finger on the second fret. Skipping this B string here, put your third finger on that B string, and that's the D. Okay, fantastic. So here we go. G, C, D. Now every one of our songs is going to use these 3 chords. We will have to throw 2 more in there to play, all of the songs. We might actually do a song that has bar chords in it. It's up to you guys. But G, C, D. actually 22 by Taylor Swift. So here's Wild Thing. G, G, C, C, D, D, C, C. 22 by Taylor Swift. G, G, D, D, C, C, D, D. Whatever, she's still on. All right. So that's G, C, and D. Those are our major chords. Again, if you need help practicing these, that's a different video. We just want to make sure we know what they all are. I think my camera's tilted, but it's pointed over. It's weird. All right, so let's look at the minor chords. Okay, the 2 chord in the key of G is going to be A minor. The 6 chord in the key of G is E minor. All right, tell you what, let's do it like this. A minor and E minor. I usually use lowercase letters, but I'm not actually sure if that's officially correct. So let's take a look at the A minor. Again, fingers 1, 2, and 3. So, let's get 2 and 3 set first. So if you notice, 2 and 3, they're in the same fret. Which fret are they in? Let's count. 1, 2. They are in the 2nd fret. They are on the middle 2 strings. So if you look, you have 6 strings, right? Which could be 3 groups of 2. Here's the lowest 2, here's the middle 2, and here's the high 2. By the way, that's how you'll think of the strings when you start arpeggiating your chords and playing the little extras that you put into guitar to make the songs sound cool instead of strumming all the strings. So low strings, middle strings, high strings. So put your 2nd and 3rd finger on the middle 2 strings of your guitar. So here's the low strings, here's the middle strings, here's the high strings we want on the middle strings. Now you want those 2 fingers on the 2nd fret. Here's the 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 2nd fret. There you go. Now your 1st finger, let's see if I can get that 1st finger, is going to go not on the middle 2, but on the B string. There you have it. Let's do that again. So your 2nd finger and your 3rd finger. 2nd finger on top, middle 2 strings. Your 1st finger goes on the B string. A minor. That's it. A minor. E minor. Now, this is the easiest one of them all. E minor. Two fingers. That's it. Alright, so there's a lot of 2nd fret action here. For the G, C add 9, and the D, the 3rd fret was the fret where most of your fingers were going to go. Now for the A minor and the E minor, it's the 2nd fret. That's not really significant, except for playing the chords. But I think from a music standpoint, that's not significant. So you take your 1st and 2nd fingers, put them on the 1st fret on the top 2 strings. Now that is wrong. Go to the 2nd fret. That is still wrong. If you look, we don't play the top string. So you take your 1st and 2nd finger, you move it down to the A and D strings. You now have your E minor. And your 1st finger is where it needs to be to play a G. Notice I don't have to move this guy. I can play a G, now a C, now a D, now an A minor. Now from an A minor to an E minor, you don't have to move your 2nd finger at all. Watch. Back to G. C. I'm trying to see if this sounds like a song. D. A minor. E minor. It's a weird progression, but I mean, it works. Alright, so those are the chords that are going to be used for all of the songs in this camp. We have G, C, and D, which is your 1, your 4 and your 5. A minor and E minor, which are your 2 and your 6. So lower on the page, we'll have some practice exercises for learning those chords. We also are going to show you the songs. Enjoy.